The Bible, especially the book of Psalms, is filled with prayers by suffering people, people who are going through darkness. But virtually all of them end on a note of hope. But there's two Psalms, and we're looking at one of them. There are two Psalms in the Psalter, Psalm 39 and Psalm 88, that do not end on a note of hope at all. And the psalmist, the man who wrote the psalm, was a man named Heman. And you have to ask yourself the question, why in the world is this prayer in the Bible? And many years ago, this prayer and also Psalm 88 and Psalm 39, which are very similar, Psalm 39 ends with the psalmist saying, "Turn your face away from me, God, so I can get a little bit of peace before I die." The circumstances of his life are darkness, but inwardly he's experiencing darkness too. You see, if outwardly things are going very badly in your life, but inwardly you sense God's presence and love, you can make it. But that's not what's happening here. He feels abandoned. He feels God is angry with him and has rejected him. He feels that God is gone. This man believed his darkness was objective. And he believed his darkness was permanent. He says so. He doesn't believe, he's not saying, I just feel that you're not here, God. He's saying, you're not there. And he doesn't say that this is temporary. He says, this is permanent. But we know he's wrong. We know his suffering actually was relative. It was temporary. And that God really was there for him. How do we know that? Well, because the end of Psalm 39, God's face is turned away. The end of Psalm 88, darkness. Losing God's face, darkness. Does that sound familiar to you? Matthew 27:45. From the 6th hour to the 9th hour, darkness came down over all the land. At the 9th hour, Jesus Christ on the cross cried, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Heman thought he was getting the absolute total darkness. He was totally abandoned by God. No, Jesus got the total darkness that Heman thought he was getting. When Jesus went to the cross, he was abandoned. Really. Not just subjectively. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? On the cross, Jesus Christ really got the wrath of God. Not just I felt the wrath. He actually got the wrath of God. Everybody abandoned Jesus, so only Jesus Christ, of all the people who've ever trusted God as Savior, only Jesus Christ. Darkness really was his only friend. His disciples had left him. His people had left him. His Father had abandoned him. Darkness was his only friend. You know why? He was taking the sins upon himself that we have committed. Satan's right about us. We do exploit others. We are self-centered. We do use other people. We deserve to have God turn his face away from us. We deserve that darkness, but Jesus Christ experienced darkness as his only friend. So in your darkness, you can know that Jesus is still your friend. He's still there. Jesus was truly abandoned so that you will only feel abandoned. And you can know that God's still there. He's not going to abandon you. No matter what you've done wrong, because of what Jesus Christ has done, he's taken the penalty. It all fell on him. It all fell into his heart. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he felt that darkness coming down on him, and he knew that he had to die in order to save us, he stayed with us. He did not abandon us in his darkness, so why in the world do you think he would abandon you and yours now? He won't do it.